Call the meeting to order. So it's Tuesday, October 8th, 2013. And the vision of the village of Valemount is striving for a vibrant and balanced community. And it's our mission to serve the community and embrace opportunity. And one of the ways we embrace opportunity is having fabulous trails. Yeah. Okay, so we'll adopt the agenda here as an order of business. So, Council, what's your wish on the agenda? Anything to add? Councillor Latimer, Councillor Bullock. All in favor? Rock and roll. Minutes from September 24th. Anybody see anything juicy in there? Okay. Councillor Salt, Councillor Latimer, all in favor?
I had a correction actually. I had indicated at the last meeting that there was a correction for the animal bylaws number 700 2013. On page 14 of that bylaw under prohibited animal, that it should read Schedule B, not Schedule A. That wasn't recorded in the minutes or on the bylaw.
Okay. So the minutes changed? Any other changes, additions, deletions? Okay. All in favor of the amended? Okay, moving into correspondence for action. We have a request from Tourism Valemount that council approve Curtis Polyak and Jennifer Robinson to attend the Edmonton Saskatoon snow shows. We have a liaison, so why don't I let the liaison speak to this?
That's Dallas. Sure. They just requested that they be reimbursed for $200 because this time around Curtis will be bringing a trailer to be able to hold all the signage because they're bringing materials for both the summer and the winter show, which doesn't fit in the back of one truck anymore.
Right on. Sorry.
The tourism minutes are that he wanted 75 cents a kilometer as opposed to the 50 cents a kilometer. So is the difference $200 from 50 to 75 for the 1,200 kilometers?
The difference is actually $250. We changed the recommendation to continue to align the mileage with our current policy, and then to separate out the additional amount as a recognition for the transport of the materials, as opposed to including it into the mileage.
So he would get 1,200 kilometers at 50 cents a kilometer,
Mm-hmm.
and then an extra $200?
Yeah, and the
That's
problem
still-
that I had with that piece, if you don't mind, I'll just go ahead first here, is that you have to take into consideration wear and tear on the vehicle and increased mileage, I guess, on the truck. But the point is that we should remain consistent with the policies that we have in place. Like a trailer doesn't, it's not like another car that you have behind anyways. What's the thinking on that?
But this is a specific, because he's taking a large truck and trailer with materials and equipment, and even added the $200, he's still $100 shy of what it's actually going to cost him.
I'm sorry, what is it going to cost him?
So if he's wanting the 75 cents per kilometer, right?
Mm-hmm.
Comes out to $937 for gas and wear and tear and insurance and all that.
Sorry, I don't follow to 937.
$937.
Okay.
Okay, so if he's only getting 50 cents, that's $625, plus the 200, that's $8.
Okay. So just to put this in perspective, if you take a car from here to Edmonton, trailer or no trailer, it does not cost you $937 in gas. Like,
If you take a large truck, it would be close.
It says here, and he's taking a trailer.
okay, well,
Right.
I can do the math, but it doesn't take So 937, it would take, it's about $1 a liter, we'll go $1.50 a liter. So it doesn't use,
Your worship. At 10 miles per gallon, which is horrendous fuel mileage, and at $1.50 a liter, which he's going to get better fuel mileage than that in Alberta, it would cost 35 cents a kilometer. Or his cost would be 35. Yes. Now we get 50 cents a kilometer. His cost would be 35 cents a kilometer. So
I guess I'm just confused because the one recommendation is that they are asking for the 75 cents. And then the other recommendation is to just give him $200 extra. I guess I'm just confused. Why don't we just give him the 75 cents because this is a specific, special...
it's really, we hesitate to recommend stepping out of policy because then,
like what if you just choose to bring a car that, so for instance, if you take your big truck versus taking a little car down to a thing, yeah, you use more gas, but ultimately you're going from A to B and the policy recognizes this is what it is. And by the way, out of most of the expenses that we pay for vehicles are for wear and tear. Most of it doesn't go back to gas. So I put it on a lot of miles in a lot of different vehicles. And when I use somebody else's vehicle, because I'm not feeling safe in my little Toyota Corolla, I minus out the gas, which is typically like if I get something like, say if I go 600 kilometers, a return trip at 50 cents, you get about 600 bucks. Well, you get 600 bucks exactly. And the gas typically for that is about 140 bucks, and that's in bad conditions, right? So the main focus of the policy is to reimburse people for the cost of owning the vehicle.
It's for maintenance.
For maintenance, right? Because you wear and tear on stuff.
So what would happen if he said that he wasn't going to take his truck and trailer? Then how would Jennifer get all the stuff there?
we would ship it the way it's going to the Saskatchewan show.
Okay, further thoughts on this?
So we're not going to be, the recommendation is for us to just pay him the extra $200 on the 50 cents per kilometer instead of the 75, is that what we're doing?
And the difference there is about $50.
So I would like to abstain from voting because I am on that committee, right? If that's okay?
Okay.
Not as a council person, I'm on there.
So to clarify, an abstaining is an assenting vote. So you actually need to step out of the voting process in order to abstain, to actually not have your vote in it.
Okay. So I'll step out now then.
Okay, fair enough.
Do you want to record the time, Braden?
Okay. And just a note to the audience is that the council liaison doesn't have the same conflict because she's there representing council. It's a different role. Councillor Salt?
Doesn't this come out of Tourism Valemount's budget? So I'm just curious if the committee is making this recommendation, is there funds in the budget?
Of course, yes.
That they're approving to do this?
Yeah.
And we've approved the budget that they submitted. I'm just wondering if we shouldn't, instead of, I don't know, has anyone relayed this information back to that committee to see their response to council saying, no, we don't want to do this, but how about this idea, and see if.
No, our our meeting was canceled for this month. So I'm just a little confused about where to go from here on this. I'm going to vote in favor for the recommendation we made as a tourism committee, being that this is only 2 shows for the entire year and everything else goes back to the 50 cents per kilometer mileage. That's the same in our policy. But I guess we'll put it to a vote and.
If I could just, yeah, I'll just speak to that. The cost of ownership of a trailer is not the same as the cost of ownership of a truck. And so where I get hung up is it seems pretty arbitrary for, yeah, and I mean, we approve the budget, right? And it's also through our policy that we put stuff out there. So Valemount Tourism, we administer the money for Valemount Tourism. And that doesn't mean sort of blank check or whatever they decide that goes. It's on council, right? And that's the tricky thing with these committees, all of them, community, forest, everything. They're all making decisions and influence. We need to be a part of that. So anyways, that's just where the thinking is from my perspective. Yeah.
So can I just get some clarification? Because the way this resolution's worded, it is kind of vague in that when it's saying being reimbursed $200 for the additional service of transporting snow show material and equipment, it's not saying for each show or for this show or that show. It's not really
Correct.
thorough.
So if I can clarify, any time that council is going to pay for someone who is not an employee to attend an event, it needs to come to council because that's out of the normal process. So every time that he would be going to any event, whether he's transporting or not, an approval would come to council.
Right.
So then if he was transporting, then it would be a simple enough matter to attach the transporting request along with it.
I think that we've always made a habit of going with the council committee's recommendations. And I think that I'm with Councillor Bullock that we need to stick to their recommendation.
Okay, it's for council to decide. So who'd like to make the motion?
Sure, I'll make the motion. The council review travel claims, that council approve a 75-cent reimbursement for mileage when tourism members or representatives travel to a trade show with a large truck and trailer used for trade show materials and equipment.
I'll second it.
Okay. I guess we've discussed it to death, so all in favor? Okay.
Marcia,
Yeah.
2 points of clarification.
Mm-hmm.
Could we also have a request, or can I request that council also make a motion on the first resolution to send the 2 people to the trade show? And on the resolution that was just made, council may want to add in 75 cents per kilometer. Because right now it's just a 75-cent reimbursement total.
Mm-hmm.
Good
Okay.
catch.
I'll make an amendment for that then.
Okay, friendly amendment, and all in favor? We'll just catch that. Okay, so that's for the 75 cents bit, and then resolve to send Curtis Pollock, Jennifer. Okay, Bullock, Blanchette, all in favor? Okay.
Thank you.
Council voted in favor of 75 cents per kilometer and sending Curtis and Jennifer to the snow show. Okay, the next item is a letter from the Valemount Curling Club. So the request is to waive the rent, cleaning fee, and insurance for the use of the community hall for an event on November 1st to support the Valemount Curling Club. The staff recommendation is to consider whether to waive the rental fee. And but I also, there's a note here about cleaning fees and insurance aren't typically waived.
We've always done the cleaning fees.
I mean, let's put the motion on the table to consider waiving the rental. I'm hearing that, obviously, that the cleaning fee and the insurance fee aren't going to be something that we would waive. So I'll make a motion that we move to waive the rental fee for the Valemount Curling Club at the community hall on November 1st. The rental fee.
I'll second that.
Okay. Councillor Blanchette, seconds. And let's just have a conversation about this. Even though I put that motion out there, I guess I need to vote in support of it now. But, you know, we did a pretty expensive renovation on the thing, and part of our, I was reminded by a letter from the CAO or an email from the CAO about trying to raise revenue based on that to support it in the future and help it grow, and sort of, you know, keep the community hall a going concern. And I guess anyways, obviously we really support the curling club, okay, don't we? I mean, let's just recount and recall that not only do we give them their taxes back, we've said as an organization, including everything, including the bar upstairs and everything, totally tax-free from here on in. And that's not just us being kind, that's us saying, okay, in this village, everybody's gonna kick in that amount that we would collect from there. Fair, like it was before. So we've shown a lot of support here. Anyways, so I'm just mentioning that, and then I'm just saying too, is that there's this other outstanding thing here where we're gonna have to have a reckoning at some point where we say, how the heck do we get some money back for this community hall that we made a significant investment in? Or is that the case, or just call it a day and say, you know what, we're never gonna make any money off this thing. It's just an expense. Even though it looks like a brilliant opportunity.
But we're supporting, you know, local groups, which is really important.
For sure.
So it's a catch-22.
Okay, well, I made the motion, so I'm in favor of this thing. Further discussion? All in favor? All right, we really support the curling club. That's what I'm taking away. CBT broadband initiative. Ooh, that's not here. Sorry, this is an earlier draft. We moved that because we thought it might be,
We're on the reading file.
we're on the reading file.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so reading file. There's just one item on the reading file, a letter from the town of Comox. Motion to receive. Blanchette. Councillor Assault. All in favor of receipt? Great. Development permit 0313 Home Hardware, pages 19 to 24. The recommendation here is, well, I'll just read out the short one. That council approve DP 013 and direct staff to prepare and issue it with the condition that the proposed flower stone display with flagpoles be installed by fall of 2014. So,
I'll make a motion.
okay,
To approve number 2, to approve development permit 0313 and direct staff to prepare and issue it with the condition that the proposed flower and stone display with the flagpoles be installed by fall of 2014.
I'll second it.
right on. Conversation on this?
Are they fine with doing that, installing that flower stone flagpole display?
It was actually their idea.
Okay.
And it works out nicely because it lends itself to the screening and the landscaping requirement in the development area criteria guidelines.
Great, glad to hear that.
Fair enough. Okay, all in favor? Right on. Okay, we're moving along. Policy updates, here we go. So, there's a whack of stuff here, and I apologize that there wasn't a heads up given to the policy committee. As I understand this, there are just a whack of policies here. 1987 administrative procedures, 1987 annual holiday policy, policy. 1993's administrative procedures signs on village property. 87, administrative leave of absence, medical compassion leave, administrative procedures, staff training from 91. 2008, curbside garbage can limit, and 2011, sick leave, medical leave. What all of these have in common is that these are policies that, for instance, the garbage can limit, we're coming out with our own thing, so this is no longer matters. So what all of them have in common is that repealing these policies and replacing them with policies 1, 4, 15, and 25 have no implication on the budget and have no implication for, like, they don't effectively change any of the policies that are there. So when this came to, I review the budget before, or I review the agenda before it goes to council. And on review, because this isn't like considering the policy and making changes, I thought this would be appropriate to come straight here to council. Okay, anyways,
There are a few
things that I would have liked to have gone over. The annual holiday one, the leave of absence. There are a few questions that I had that,
okay, we are assembled here as a council, doing a public open meeting for the benefit of the residents of the village of Valemount in the council chamber. This is how we make policy. This is how we go forward. Under our new guidelines of committees, our committee meetings are now public. We all understand that. There is a lot of, okay, so this is the place to discuss those concerns that you have around the policies. So let's get to it.
okay, well, annual holidays. It says all holidays not used within the employee's anniversary year may be carried over to the next. An employee may carry over a maximum of 120 paid working days holiday. I don't think that they should be carried over. I think if you don't use them, then you lose them.
Okay, fair enough. But this is an opportunity to clean up the policies that we have, and it brings them before council. But this is not an exercise in changing the actual policies. So if you're in disagreement of those previous policies, this is a good time to flag that and put it on our strategy chart and say, what is the level of, when are we going to address this?
Well, I don't understand why these policies are different than all the other policies we've worked on.
So these policies are being, so the other policies, I'm guessing that as a committee, you folks made substantive changes. And so when we review a policy, anyways, it's kind of clear to me what the difference
if
is.
the policy is going to be changed, right?
Because obviously they have to be updated in 1987, that's, but if there are changes being made to the policy itself, then shouldn't it go to the committee to address those changes and then it be brought to council saying, okay, we addressed this is what we have, what do you think? That's how we've done it before, so this is why I'm confused.
So if I can just speak to that before Councillor Sloan. So in my mind, when I go about my work, I make a list of what's most important first, right? And do that in that order. So to me, there's sort of a triage of what are the big policies that are coming down. Some of the big ones that we've just had, like garbage, for instance, are coming down because we have the garbage service. And there's a whole new system coming, right? So that's an important one to deal with in that way. Meanwhile, we've got a bunch of outdated policies that, yeah, okay. Sorry, Councillor Salt.
There isn't a timeliness to this. I would like to move that we defer this till at least the next council meeting for those of us committee members that are on that bylaw and policy review committee to be able to at least discuss it with our CAO and feel confident and comfortable in what's being brought forward. That's all I'm asking.
So did you not have time to contact the CAO after receiving your agenda on Thursday or Friday?
No, I did not.
Okay. Okay, let's do it.
I just have a question. So can we not repeal the policies at this point and not make any approvals of the new policies? I don't know the procedure, but because there's some issues.
It might be tricky to be without a policy for some of these things, like if somebody had a bereavement, at least now we could go with the old policy.
But could we not appeal and have first and second and make amendments to that?
They're not bylaws, they're
Oh,
policies.
sorry.
It just says single blush.
Right.
Okay, you said we found some problems?
No, I don't.
Oh, okay,
No.
sorry.
Okay. So can I have a motion to defer this to the next council meeting or table it? Or what's the appropriate? Deferral and table are two different things.
No, can we defer, not table?
Yeah, fair
That
enough.
was more difficult.
Okay.
I'll second that.
Just put it in old business.
Okay, I didn't make the motion, sorry.
I did. I had made
Councillor
that.
Salt? Councillor Blanchette? All in favor? Okay. Economic Development Officer Report for September 2013. Motion to receive? Councillor Bullock? Councillor Latimer? All in favor? Sorry, was there any discussion resulting out of that?
Everybody's busy.
Public Works Report for September 2013. Councillor Latimer, Councillor Blanchette, all in favor? Guess of receipt of that? Sorry, I'm going to do better with the building inspector. Who would like to move receipt? Councillor Salt, Councillor Bullock. Any discussion? No, okay, fair enough. All in favor? We have accounts payable for September 2013. Councillor Salt. Councillor Latimer. Comments? All in favor? Director of Finance Progress Report. Motion, I'll move receipt. And Councillor Salt, all in favor? Okay. Okay, into the bylaws. Animal bylaw number 700, 2013. That council approved fourth and final reading of animal bylaw number 700. I think there was, was this one we amended?
This is the one that requires the
Okay.
correction.
So it should say Appendix B on page 14. The 14th page of that.
So, page 14 of Schedule A definitions. Under prohibited animal, it references Schedule A, and it should be Schedule B.
Okay, with that amendment.
Good catch.
Councillor Salt? Councillor Bullock? All in favor? Okay. Tax exempt bylaw, Good Neighbor bylaw, number 702, fourth and final reading.
So make a motion.
Councillor Blanchette? Councillor Latimer? All in favor? Tax exempt bylaw number 704, third reading. Councillor Salt? Councillor Blanchette? All in favor? Okay. One more reading for that one. Temporary street bylaw number 705, fourth and final reading.
I'll make a motion.
Councillor Blanchette? Councillor Salt? All in favor? Okay. Council reports? Who wants to start?
I'll start.
Yeah.
I just attended the CIBC run from here, and Councillor Sullivan
Councillor Blanchette were there as well. Great night, raised a lot of money for the cause. So there's about 110 women that showed, and about I think there was 14 vendors, all women in business.
Nice.
It was a very nice evening.
Yep.
So that's all I have to report. And heading to the Varda AGM right after this.
Oh, right. Oh, we're
No
doing
rest for the wicked.
Okay.
I attended the Northern Health meeting. We're preparing our presentation for the Northern Health Research Days in November, so we're working on that. And I just wanted to put a plug in for Wednesday, October the 16th, from 9:15 to 4:15 for parents. It's a parent workshop on ADHD. Really a great bunch of physicians and knowledgeable health professionals are going to be running the workshop, and I would encourage everyone that needs to go. And also that Northern Health is doing something called shared care, and they're doing, specialists are working with our GPs, and they're doing it as a video conferencing, so it's, really great things are coming out of there. So I just wanted to put a plug in for that.
Where's the workshop being
The
held?
workshop, sorry, it's at the health center downstairs in the conference room.
Cool. Who next? Councillor Salt?
Like Councillor Latimer said, attended the CIBC Run for the Cure fundraiser, and very good evening, very successful turnout, considering at one point they thought they were going to have to cancel. So, and then I also attended a First Nation Administration open house, which was very interesting and exciting. Was really amazed at everything that they do as a band, and was able to meet and make contact with Chief Rita Matthew and Councillor Tom Eustache. And so it was very nice to get that first initial contact with them as well. So looking forward to our CTC with them. And that's it for me.
Yesterday, I went to a community forest meeting, and there's still an ad in one of the newspapers, probably both newspapers, this week. I'll just read it out here. The community forest, in association with the Bridges 2, is collecting a listing of wood manufacturers in the area that would be added to a registry of the area spanning from Barrier to McBride. If you want to be added to this registry, you can get a hold of Craig Pryor and give him all your information about your capabilities of your local mills and target tree species, volumes required, and general bucking specifications. And today I went to a Tourism Valemount meeting.
Awesome. Quickly, after our council meeting on the 24th, I spent all of September 25th on the road, headed to Elkford. It was my first time ever in Elkford. And what you want to know about Elkford is, one, it's very far away. Genuinely far away. Had to go through Alberta to get there, but it's in British Columbia. And had a great AGM for the Columbia Basin Trust. Yeah, it was neat to meet the community there. And on Monday, I went to the SIMC open house with Councillor Salt and Administrator Yanciw, and it was fantastic. It was an open house properly. They have, it would be like our village doing an open house with the different, public works and the different things that we do, except many, many more. They do so much. They take care of healthcare, they do education. It's totally overwhelming. And I was just like, you guys do all this? Like, it's not provincial. They do it themselves. I mean, there's organizations that help, but it's just, they employ a lot of people just providing the services. Anyways, it was fantastic to meet them. It was great. I felt really welcome from the SIMC folk, and I tried to meet them all. I tried to meet everybody and have a good conversation, and they're really some passionate people. And what the one takeaway I have was the one lady's name, I found it out later, was Louise, who is in charge of secondary. And the reason they have such a high number of kids going into post-secondary education is because they're passionate about secondary education. And so much so, as I understood it, that the lady who takes care of post-secondary education, they had to break off like the one-year programs, the apprenticeships and whatever, just so that they could do the higher learning stuff or whatever. I mean, it was great. It was fantastic. And nice community, struggling like we are, but it It's fantastic to meet them. I also want to let people know that the local governments were consulted about the Columbia River Treaty, and it was an opportunity for communities to actually be involved in decision-making about the Columbia River Treaty, kind of, to get a lot of knowledge about it and then help influence the province when they negotiate with the United States regarding the future of the Columbia River and ultimately how fast Kinbasket goes up and down. And we were able to be a part of that. I was able to be, Christine Latimer started it, Councillor Latimer, and then I sort of came in midstream. And that process is kind of wrapping up. It's close to an end. So the CRT Local Governments Committee has done all of their work. They've got it. Now they're opening it up to public comment to see what people think and feel. I think it would be great. It's for keeners, really. It's so hard to get the basics down, but for all the people who've been keeping track of the Columbia River Treaty, it's a great opportunity right now to get a hold of that most recent report that they've got. It'll be coming out very soon and hitting the papers. And I think we had a little preview of it in Valemount here because we had to bring it through council, so people have a little heads up. But there will be, right now, tentatively for November 14th in the evening at 7 o'clock, there will be a teleconference meeting with the people at the province who will be negotiating on British Columbia's behalf. So you can sit here in the room, talk about what the province heard, make sure that they understand what we're saying and what our concerns are, and get it right from the horse's mouth. So that'll be a fantastic opportunity. And I've spoken to Sylvia about booking the room and everything, so it's not as bad as it usually is. Then beyond that CRT piece, that's it. That's all I got. Sorry about that. Okay, good. So, what I had to say. Motion to receive council reports. Councillor Bullock, Councillor Salt, all in favor? No new business. List of outstanding previous council resolutions is there. I don't think we'll deal with that as such. The calendar of events is there. It's nice to have those. There's a time for public comment. I mean, the only public we have in the audience works for the media, so they can say whatever they want, whenever they want. And often do.
I have a question.
Oh,
When Christine stepped out, I know...
can you stand up, say your name?
Yes, absolutely,
Yeah.
sorry.
Yeah.
East and 1100 Cypress Road. I understand that Christine didn't step out because of her role in council, but from your tourism role?
No, from the Columbia River Treaty, I stepped out.
No, sorry, I meant the earliest,
Oh.
when we were talking about the...
Valemount tourism.
Yes.
I thought there was a conflict because I am on the tourism committee.
Outside of council.
And the tourism committee brought that to council, so I felt there was a
Okay, I just
conflict.
wanted to be clear on what you're talking about. It's because you're part of the tourism committee outside of council.
Right.
Okay, thank you.
Very good. Good, thank you for getting that clarification. Okay, motion to receive public comment. Okay, Councillor Latimer, Councillor Blanchette, all in favor? Received. Notice of receiving camera. Motion, Councillor Salt, Councillor Bullock, all in favor? Great. That's it?